Hi all, welcome to the video lecture series on fluid mechanics and fluid machines. This is Dhananjay Rao, Assistant Professor from Mechanical Engineering Department, Vijnan Institute of Information Technology. Today we are covering the topic from unit number 3, that is boundary layer theory, dimensional analysis and similarity. So in this unit we are covering the topic introduction to dimensional analysis and a Rayleigh's method. So here these are the lectures which we are covering from unit number 3. Now we are here lecture number 4 from unit number 3. What are those topics? Introduction to dimensional analysis, dimensional homogeneity, methods of dimensional analysis, Rayleigh's method and its problem. Here it is a quick idea about the dimensional analysis. Yes, dimensional analysis is a mathematical technique by which we can study the dimensions of a particular expression used to solve several complex engineering problems of fluid flow. Okay, next, it is a mathematical technique, as I told before, used for conducting model tests and to study the relationship between the physical quantities with the help of dimensions and units involved in a particular physical phenomenon. Is termed as dimensional analysis. It is essential because it keeps all the units in a particular phenomenon is same, helping us to perform a mathematical calculations very smoothly. Next topic which we'll cover in the lecture is Rayleigh's method. Rayleigh's method is one of the methods to perform the dimensional analysis. When it comes to lecture number 4, these are the contents: introduction to dimensional analysis, dimensional homogeneity, methods of dimensional analysis, Rayleigh's method, assignment questions, and there is a summary. As I told before, the dimensional analysis. What is a dimensional analysis? It is a mathematical technique which will be used for so many research works. For design a particular fluid flow problem and to conduct model tests, the dimensional analysis, which is very important for a research work. In that we can perform a model test, and it deals with the dimensions of physical quantities involved in a particular phenomenon. Dimensional analysis is very important tool for analyzing fluid flow problems. It is especially used for presenting the experimental results in concise form. Uses of dimensional analysis. There are many uses for dimensional analysis to implement take the dimensional analysis in a particular research work. It is very important. These are the different uses. What are those? To test the dimensional homogeneity of an equation of a fluid flow problem. Second, to derive rational formula for a particular flow phenomenon. Third one, to derive equations expressed in terms of non-dimensional parameters to show the relative significance of each parameter. Fourth one, to plan model tests and present experimental results. Plan, model, test and present experimental results in a systematic manner, thus making it possible to analyze the complex fluid flow problems. First, we go with what is a dimension, what is a unit. Suppose we can say that there is a 4-meter length. 4-meter length. What is 4? What is meter? What is length? Right? So here you can see that there is a 3.2 centimeter length. Here length is a dimension and centimeter is a unit. 3.2 is the value. Yes, length is a dimension, centimeter is a unit. Yes. A dimension is a measure of physical quantity without numerical value. A unit is way to assign a number to the dimension. Unit is a way to assign number to the dimension. Here some of the fundamental quantities and some of geometric quantities. Here you can see that there is a mass, there is a length, there is a time. There are dimensions mentioned. For length, what is the dimension? For length, what is the dimension? It is L. For mass, what is the dimension? It is M. For time, what is the dimension? It is T. These are the fundamental dimensions. These are the geometric quantities. Here it is area, which is represented by A. What is the dimension of that particular area? L square. What is volume? L cube. What is moment of inertia? L power 4. So here there is an example which indicates that, which gives us a clear explanation of what is a dimension, what is a unit. Here it is telling that length L, mass M and time T are the three fixed dimensions. Length L, mass M, time T are the three fixed dimensions which are very important in fluid mechanics problem. Length is a dimension that is measured in units. Length is a dimension, there is a length, that length is a dimension which we are measuring in units such as microns, feet, centimeter, meter and kilometer. All these are all units. Suppose we can say that velocity, what are the units of that particular velocity? Meter per second. Meter per second is a unit of that particular phenomenon. Okay. L T inverse is the dimension of the particular velocity. What are the fundamental dimensions? When it comes to fluid mechanics problems, there are three fundamental dimensions we can observe. There is a mass, there is a length, there is a time. L, M, T are the three fundamental dimensions. Okay. When it comes to all engineering problems, there are 7 fundamental dimensions. What are those? Fundamental dimensions are, there are 7 primary dimensions. Those are mass, length, time, temperature, electric current, amount of light and amount of matter. These are the 7 primary fundamental dimensions which we observe in any engineering problem. What are the secondary or derived quantities? Yes, all non-primary dimensions can be formed by some combination of primary or fundamental dimensions. The secondary dimensions are which are formed by combination of primary dimensions. What are those? For example, force has the same dimension. Yes, we can say that F is equal to ma. The force dimension is same, ma dimension also same. Okay, force has the same dimension as mass times acceleration. Okay, by Newton's second law. Thus, in terms of primary dimensions, the dimensions are same. In terms of primary dimensions, on both sides, F is equal to ma. In an expression, F is equal to ma, the dimensions are same. The dimensions of force F is equal to mass times length per time square, which is equal to mass fundamental dimension, which is m, L length, L is fundamental dimension, T time fundamental dimension is T, so that ml T square. Similarly, for velocity, it is denoted by distance per unit time. Distance, the fundamental dimension of distance is L. The fundamental dimension of time is T. Here, you can observe the fundamental dimension L T. L by T is the dimension for the particular velocity. When comes to density, it is denoted by mass per unit volume. What is the fundamental dimension for mass? It is M. What is the fundamental dimension for volume? Volume, it is length cube, L cube, M by L cube. Next, acceleration, it is denoted by distance per second square. Distance, it is L and second is T. So that L by T square. Yeah, these are the some other quantities from kinematic quantities, and these are the dynamic quantities. Here, dimensions are mentioned to the particular each and every quantity. There is a linear velocity, there is angular velocity, acceleration, angular acceleration, discharge, gravity, kinematic viscosity, stream function, verticity. When it comes to dynamic quantities, there is a force, density, specific weight, dynamic viscosity, pressure, modulus of elasticity, momentum, angular momentum, work, torque and power. Here, these are the physical quantities, physical phenomena. These are the dimensions of the particular physical phenomena. When it comes to dimensional homogeneity, what is a dimensional homogeneity? We can say that dimensional homogeneity is nothing but the powers of a particular expression on both sides should be equal. What are the powers? The powers of fundamental dimensions of that particular variable in an expression should be equal. Suppose we can say that each term in an equation on both sides are equal. There is f is equal to ma. F is one variable which depends on ma. Ma are two other variables. F which is dependent on ma. Right? F which is dependent on ma. So that when you draw a fundamental dimension, particular f, particular ma, the powers of that particular dimensions should be same. Then only we can call it equation it as dimensionally homogeneous equation. Yes, dimensional homogeneity means dimensions of each terms in a particular equation on both sides are equal. That equation is known as dimensionally homogeneous equation, unless until we cannot use that particular expression or equation in any engineering problem. If it is dimensionally homogeneous only, we can use that particular expression in any engineering problem. Okay? Yeah, there is an example. The powers of fundamental dimensions. What are the fundamental dimensions? As already we know that LMT are the fundamental dimensions. LMT. Okay? On both sides of any equation will be identical for a particular dimensionally homogeneous equation. Such equations are independent of system of units. Let us consider V is equal to root 2gh. What is V here? V is a velocity. What is root 2gh? Root 2gh is an expression for the particular phenomenon, velocity phenomenon. Right? Root 2gh is an expression for velocity in a particular fluid flow problem. Yeah. When comes to dimensional homogeneity, we already told that the dimensional homogeneity is nothing but the fundamental dimensions of a particular phenomenon in an equation should be equal. The powers of fundamental dimensions should be equal. Right? V is equal to root 2gh. There is an expression or a variable in left side. There is a variable in right side. Left side we have variable V, right side we have variable 2gh, root 2gh. Okay. We are considering the fundamental dimensions. We are extracting what are the fundamental dimensions to that particular variables. Left side there is a V. Velocity, what is V? Meter per second. What is fundamental dimensions per meter? There is L. So that L, right? L by T. It is LT inverse. When comes to right hand side, root 2GH. Okay, we can remove this 2 because it is a value, numerical value. Okay, what is G here? G is acceleration due to gravity, meter per second square. So that L by T square. And what is H? H is nothing but height, which is L. So that root over L square by T square, which is again L by T, LT inverse. The left side, the fundamental dimensions are LT inverse, right side the fundamental dimensions are LT inverse. So that the dimensions of left hand side variable is equal to right hand side GH variables. So that the equation V is equal to root 2GH is dimensionally homogeneous, so that it can be used in a fluid flow problem. Yes, there is a particular method to analyze dimension. Okay, what are those? We can see each term in an equation on both sides are equal, which is dimensionally homogeneous. Okay, that dimensionally homogeneous can be performed by dimensional analysis method. What are those? There are two methods. Okay, what are those? If the number of variables involved in a particular physical phenomenon are known, okay, suppose as in the last slide, there is a V is equal to root 2GH. Okay, we know that for a particular fluid flow problem, GH are the variables involved in that particular phenomenon. Here it is stating that if the number of variables involved in a particular physical phenomenon are known, yes, we know that GH are physical variables involved in that particular phenomenon, then the relation among the variables can be determined. Yes, the relation between the variables can be determined by these two methods. Yes, Rayleigh's method, one is Rayleigh's method, second one is Buckingham's pi theorem. These are the two methods. Yeah, there are certain applications to that particular dimensional homogeneity. What are those? The principle of homogeneity proves useful for the following ways. First one, it facilitates to determine the dimensions of a particular physical phenomenon. Yes, there is a particular fluid flow problem which we never experienced before, so that if we know all the variables involved in that particular phenomenon, so that we can get an expression by using this dimensional analysis method. Determine the dimensions of the particular physical quantity. It helps to check whether an equation of any physical phenomenon is dimensionally homogeneous or not. It facilitates conversion of units from one system to another system. It provides a step towards a dimensional analysis, which is fruitfully employed to plan experiments and to present the results in meaningful way. These are the different applications of dimensional homogeneity. Yeah, here it is the first method of dimensional homogeneity. It is Rayleigh's method. It is proposed by Rayleigh, Lord Rayleigh in 1899. Yes, this method of dimensional analysis was proposed by Lord Rayleigh in 1899 to determine the effect of temperature on a viscosity of gas. Initially, he started his research on to determine the effect of temperature on viscosity of a gas. In this method, the functional relationship of some variables is expressed in the form of exponential form. Yeah, he wrote, initially he found that what are the variables involved in the particular phenomenon. Then he formed a functional relationship among those variables. Then he wrote all the functional variables in a concise form that is expressed in exponential equation, so that he can come to know that that particular equation suits to that particular phenomenon or not. Yes, this method is useful for determining the expressions of a particular for a variable which depends on maximum 3. Yes, this method is useful for determining the expression for a variable which depends upon maximum 3 or 4 variables only. Yeah, it is the main drawback of this particular method, because it is concise to 3 or 4 variables only in a particular fluid flow problem. If the number of variables are increased in a particular fluid problem, this method may not be suitable, as the variables are increasing, the expression also may increase. If the number of independent variables becomes more than 4, then it is very difficult to find the expression for the dependent variables. Yes. Yeah. The Rayleigh's method. Let us consider there is an x variable which depends on x1, x2, x3 variables. Yes, there is an x variable which depends on x1, x2, x3. Then according to Rayleigh's method, x is a function of x1, x2, x3. Right? According to Rayleigh's method, there is an x variable which depends on x1, x2, x3, so that x is a function of x1, x2, x3. So that we can write this as x is equal to f of x1, x2, x3. This can also be written as x is equal to k of x1 power a, x2 power b, x3 power c. A, b, c are the arbitrary powers of the particular physical quantity or dimension. K is a constant. The values of a, b, c are obtained by comparing the powers of fundamental dimensions on both sides. Thus, the expression is obtained from dependent variables. As already I told that there is a drawback that this method becomes more laborious if the variables are more than number of fundamental dimensions. We know that the fundamental dimensions are 3. If the variables involved in that particular phenomenon more than 3, it is very laborious. This difficulty is overcome by using Buckingham's pi theorem. So what are the steps involved in this particular Rayleigh's method? We can see. So Rayleigh's method also called as power series method. The Rayleigh's method based on the following steps. What are those steps? Initial step. First of all, write the functional relationship. Yes, write the functional relationship with the given data. What is given data here? Initially, we know that what are the variables involved in the particular fluid flow problem or a particular physical phenomenon. So that we need to write a functional relationship using all the variables. Next, write the equation in terms of constant with exponents. Yes, we need to write an equation by using constant and exponent powers to that particular variables. Next, with the help of principle of dimensional homogeneity, find out the values of ABC. Yes, there is a left side term for an expression, there is a right side term for an expression in a particular equation, so that we need to extract the fundamental dimensions and assign the powers of the fundamental dimensions, so that we get an equation. Finally, we will find the power values of ABC. Next, now substitute those values of exponents in the main equation and simplify it for the expression. These are the 4 basic steps. Okay, so here these are the 4 steps which we need to implement to solve the particular fluid flow problem. Yeah, as an example, I took a particular fluid flow problem. For Rayleigh's method, what is that particular problem? Prove that the resistance of a sphere of diameter d. There is a sphere, okay, of diameter d which is moving with a constant speed u, through a fluid density rho and dynamic viscosity mu. Okay, here it is they are asking for prove the resistance F. Okay, so we need to establish a relation between the force and the remaining variables. Okay, force is a variable, d, u, rho, mu are the variables. Okay, so in Rayleigh's method we already told that x here is F, which depends on x1, x2, x3, x4. These are all the variables. Okay, so here F is dependent on these many variables, so that we need to form a functional equation by using all the variables. Yes, here it is step 1. Here these are the fundamental dimensions of the particular variables which involved in this particular fluid flow problem. There is a resistance, means force F is Newton. There is a diameter, there is a speed, there is a density, there is a viscosity. These are the dimension. These are the variables which involved in the fluid flow problem. These are the dimensions of the particular variables. So that we establish a functional relationship between all the variables. F is equal to, F is a function of diameter, velocity, density and dynamic viscosity. There is a step 2. F is equal to, we need to assign a constant. K is a constant and we need to assign arbitrary powers to that variable. What are those arbitrary powers? A, B, C, D are the arbitrary powers. We are assigning arbitrary powers to all the variables, right? Next, step 3. We need to apply fundamental dimensions to that particular equation. Okay, so for F, MLT power minus 2. Okay, for D, D is nothing but diameter. Diameter means it is a length, so that L power A. U, velocity, LT inverse, so that LT inverse power B. Rho, ML power minus 3 power C, and ML inverse, T inverse power D. Okay, so these are the fundamental dimensions. Okay, so here I am elaborating all the terms. M power 1, L power 1, T power minus 2 in left side. Yes, M power 1, L power 1, T power minus 2 in left side, and there is L power A, there is L power B, there is T power minus B, there is M power C, there is L power minus 3C, there is M power B, L power minus D, T power minus D. Okay, so every dimension which is allotted with some arbitrary powers. Okay, now we can solve by taking all the M values together, all the T values together, all the L values together. Now for M, okay, so for easy understanding I mentioned M with yellow color. Okay, so what is left hand side value for M? There is 1 here, so that here 1. Okay, what about right hand side? There is a C, there is a D, so that 1 is equal to C plus D. Okay, so that C is equal to 1 minus D. Here it is equation 1. Now for L, okay, now what is L here? Only 1, so that 1 is equal to, there is A, there is B for L, so that A plus B, and there is minus 3c, a plus b minus 3c and minus d, so that a plus b minus 3c minus d. There is another equation. Now for t, what here minus 2 is there for t left hand side, so that minus 2 is equal to minus b minus d, minus b minus d, which is equal to b is equal to 2 minus d. Okay, by solving all these equations we can get to know that values of the arbitrary powers. Yeah, here fourth step, by substituting the equations 1 and 3 in equation 2, okay, so that we can get to know that a is equal to 2 minus d. So the derived expression. So after which we need to substitute all the arbitrary power values in the main equation. So here we need to substitute the value, a value here, b value here, c value here and d value here, so that the final expression here f is equal to k of d power d 2 minus d. Here d is the diameter, we need to substitute a value, a is equal to 2 minus d, right? Next, here there is a term, a is equal to 2 minus d. Here there is b term, b is equal to 2 minus d. Here there is c term, here c is equal to 1 minus d. There is d term, d is equal to d. Okay, so that finally we have an expression for the resistance. Here it is the expression for the resistance. K multiplies with d square u square rho into mu by rho mu d, rho u d power d. So here is the final expression for the particular resistance F. So these are the different assignment questions. For better understanding of the topic, we will be giving an assignment questions which all are covered in this lecture. What are those? Define the terms dimensional analysis and model analysis. What do you mean by fundamental units and derived units? Give an example. What are the uses of dimensional analysis? Explain the terms dimensionally homogeneous equation. Enumerate the applications of dimensionally homogeneity. What are the methods of dimensional analysis? Describe the Rayleigh's method for dimensional analysis. And here are the assignment problems. Few assignment problems also given to understand, to analyze yourself. You can try all the problems. Okay, so for better understanding, I placed an example. By following those examples, you can solve all these problems. So first problem, give the dimensions of, we need to derive the dimensions for, to this particular variables. And next, there is a problem 2 on Rayleigh's method, problem 3 on Rayleigh's method, and problem 4 on Rayleigh's method. Here are the highlights or summary points of that particular topics. First, dimensional analysis. It is a mathematical technique which will be used in research of fluid flow problems. Next, dimensional homogeneity. Dimensional homogeneity states that every term in an equation must be same. Every term, the powers of the particular terms in an equation should be same from left side to right side equation. Next, Rayleigh's method of dimensional analysis is very useful when number of variables is small. When the variable number increases, then we need to go for Buckingham's pi theorem. Yeah, thank you. It is end of the lecture. We can meet again for the next lecture. The next lecture topic is Buckingham's pi theorem. Thank you.